There's a YouTube channel in the history niche that's absolutely blowing up right now. Their videos have almost 1 billion total views, and they've already passed 4 million subscribers. But channels like Kings and Generals aren't the only ones crushing it. There are tons of other creators making the same kind of 3D history-style videos, and they're all getting millions of views too. So in this video, I'm going to walk you step by step through how you can get the same kind of results, but with way less effort. See, to make videos like this the traditional way, there's usually a huge team behind the scenes. 3D artists editing frame by frame, people using Blender, After Effects, or DaVinci Resolve, adding cinematic sound effects, and hiring real voice actors. The cost for just one video can go anywhere from $2,000 to even $10,000. And that's the biggest obstacle for small YouTubers who want to start from scratch. But that's exactly why I made this video, to make that entire process simple and affordable for you. The truth is, anyone can create high-quality videos without spending a lot of money or hiring a big team. Alright, before we jump into the full tutorial, let's take a quick look at the demo I made for today's video.
For the year 782, the records of the Annales Reni Francorum note that Emperor Charlemagne held a court day in Saxony, which was one of his newly conquered holdings. All the Saxons had obeyed the king's orders and gathered for this day. After an eventful war, Charlemagne had apparently managed to subdue the rebellious Saxons and integrate them into his empire. No sooner had the imperial diet been held and Charlemagne returned to Gaul than news reached the king that Slavic Sorbs had invaded the land of the Thuringians and Saxons. The king ordered 3 of his officials to raise an army from the people in East Francia and amongst the Saxons. However, when the commanders reached Saxony, its inhabitants confronted them. Stirred up by Widukind, they marched against the Franks as enemies. In a hard-fought battle, the Franks were defeated, almost to the last man. When King Charles heard this, he marched there with the Franks he could hastily gather and arrived at the mouth of the Aller River, where it flows into the Weser River.
Pretty impressive, right? Now I'm going to show you exactly how I created this video, step by step. The first step is writing the script, and I'll walk you through my entire process. I start by going to the Kings and Generals channel. Once I'm there, I look for videos that have performed well recently. You can either check their recent uploads or sort by popular videos to find proven topics that already have traction with audiences. For this example, I'm going to focus on something more recent and trending, so I'll click on one of their newer successful videos. Now scroll down until you see a button that says Show Transcript and click it. You'll notice a transcript panel appears on the right side of the screen. This shows the entire script from the video. What I do next is simple. I copy the entire script from this panel. Then I head over to ChatGPT. In the prompt box, I type something like this. Create a prompt for generating a script like the one I provide. Make it concise, cinematic, and storytelling focused for a single voiceover. Keep it flexible so it works for many different topics. Here's my script. And then I paste the full script I just copied. Once you submit that, ChatGPT will generate a reusable prompt template based on that script style. Before you hit submit, make sure you're using ChatGPT Instant. That's the model I recommend for most people because it handles these requests quickly and effectively. You only need the thinking model if you're working with extremely complex prompts. After ChatGPT processes your request, you'll get a clean, flexible prompt that captures the style and structure of the original script. Now you can use this template to generate scripts on any topic you want, and they'll all have that same cinematic storytelling feel. Now, after reviewing the prompt, I noticed one small issue. There's no clear place to insert my specific topic within the history niche. This is completely normal when working with AI. You'll often need to make small adjustments. If you look at prompts I've generated before, you'll see they usually have a dedicated spot where you can drop in your topic. Our current prompt doesn't have that built in yet, but that's easy to fix. All you need to do is add a short sentence to the prompt, telling it where to place your topic. And if you want to control the length, just include the total word count in your instructions. Now here's the final touch based on my experience. I always add this line at the end. Provide only the final voiceover script with no narration cues, timestamps, or formatting. Just the pure script I can copy and paste directly into tools like 11 Labs or Minimax Audio. Alright, now I have a complete prompt ready to generate history scripts on any topic I want. I know some of you, especially beginners, might be wondering, how do I even come up with topics? I don't have any ideas yet. Here's what you do. Copy your full script prompt, then open a previous thread or start a new one in ChatGPT. Type something like, I have a prompt for generating scripts, but first I need you to generate a list of topics I can choose from to use with my script prompt. Then paste your full script prompt below that. ChatGPT will give you a list of topic ideas you can choose from for your videos. For example, Let's say I pick this topic from the list. I go back to my script prompt, insert that topic where it belongs, and copy the entire prompt. Then I open a new thread like before and paste it into the ChatGPT prompt box. This time, make sure you select GPT-5 Thinking instead of GPT-5 Instant. The reason is simple. GPT-5 Instant can't generate scripts longer than 1,300 words. So if you want more length, you need the thinking model. Click Submit and ChatGPT will start generating your full script. You'll need to wait a bit longer for the complete result. Since this is a 2,000-word script, it uses a lot of tokens and takes more time to generate everything. Once I have the full script, I like to verify the length. I copy the entire script and paste it into wordcounter.net. As you can see, my script came out to about 2,600 words. Remember, this is always approximate. AI can't give us exactly 2,000 words like we defined in the prompt. It's usually close but not precise. Right now, GPT-5 Thinking can generate up to 3,500 words in a single run. But for me, starting with 1,500 to 2,000 words is plenty for making quality content. You should focus on quality first. Length comes later. As long as you can create a solid video that's 8 to 10 minutes long, that's enough to start. Once you've mastered that format, you can move up to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or even 30 minutes later on. Because here's the truth, a good video isn't about length. For these types of videos, you really need a great voice. In my experience, the voice makes up about 30 to 40% of the success of any faceless YouTube channel. Like my other videos, this voice I used in the history style video from the beginning uses 11 Labs. I know 11 Labs is high cost, so if your budget is low, you can consider using Minimax Audio, which is 80% cheaper than 11 Labs. In Minimax Audio, you can clone a voice from any voice you want at a very affordable price. I tried this, and actually the clone voice quality is very high, about 80 to 90% as good as the original voice. In 11 Labs, just go to Voices on the left sidebar, then click on Filter. A pop-up will appear for you to choose options. For language, I'm going to choose English. For accent, I'll choose American. Then for the category of this history niche, I'll choose Informative and Educational. And click Apply Filter and close the pop-up. Next, make sure you're sorting the voice list by trending, which is the best option you should use every time. Then you'll choose this voice, Vincent Sparks, Deep American Voice. This is the voice you can use for your videos. It's a really good voice, and I recommend you try it for your channel. For the voice I used in the demo of this video, I used Clyde Voice. This is a default voice in 11 Labs. Then for the voice settings, set them up like this. For speed, I'll go with 1.02. For stability, I'll adjust to 50%. For similarity, I'll go with 75%. And for style exaggeration, I'll set about 10%. Make sure to turn on speaker boost and then click the generate speech button. You'll have what you want with a great voiceover for this script. Now let's move on to the next interesting part, how I generated these types of videos. This time, I used text to video instead of image to video, all done through AI generation methods. After creating a lot of content with image to video, I realized it's actually hard to control the scenes using that method. While it can produce better visuals and higher quality frames, the scenes often feel static and don't match the mood of the content. You can really feel when a video looks motionless and unnatural. To fix that, you usually need to test a lot of prompts using different AI video generation tools, which can be frustrating and time-consuming. That's why, for all the demo videos you'll see, I use the text-to-video approach I mentioned earlier. Just like when generating images, we still need good prompts for text-to-video. To create them, I use this prompt inside ChatGPT. I have a historical documentary script that I need to convert into 30 detailed text-to-video prompts. Please analyze my script and create 30 specific detailed prompts optimized for AI video generation tools. After that, I add the specific details I want for each prompt. I use the same technique I teach when generating scripts, starting with a short version of my original idea and enhancing it step by step. You can customize this main prompt however you like, then paste your own script right below it. But don't paste your full script all at once. Just add a smaller section first. There are two main reasons for this. It's easier to control the output, and it helps avoid hitting the token limit. When you include a very long script and ask for many detailed prompts, the responses will usually get shorter and less complete. I hope that makes sense. For testing results and creating content, this method is pretty practical. Once I have all the prompts, I simply copy each one and paste it into a text-to-video AI generator. And yes, I used Kling AI again, just like before. As you can see on the screen, these are all the videos I generated using Kling AI's text-to-video feature. The model I used is Video 2.5 Turbo, which I find very affordable. It costs about $25 in credits per video, still supports professional mode, and the quality is really good. I don't recommend using Kling AI Master because, as you can see, I tried generating the same prompt with both Turbo mode and Master 2.1, And the video from Turbo actually looks better to me. The Master 2.1 version also costs about 4 times more, which makes it not worth it at all. Once I finish generating all the clips, I use a professional video editor like CapCut or Filmora to combine everything into a finished historical video, just like the one you're seeing on screen. The key to making a good video is trimming each clip to match the voiceover. It doesn't take long once you're familiar with the process of content creation. If you want to improve the video even more, you can generate new scenes to replace the ones you don't like. Just drag and drop them into place, the same way I'm doing here. To take things to the next level, I sometimes use After Effects to add cinematic titles and make the videos more engaging. Of course, you don't need to use After Effects yourself, because I create ready-made templates for my community members. That way, they can achieve the same level of quality without needing an expensive subscription or manual editing. I'll explain more about that later, but next, I'll move on to something even more exciting: how I optimized this entire process using Gary Studio, the tool I built exclusively for my community, which is completely free inside. In Gary Studio, you can simply copy the full prompt you used earlier and paste it into the script prompt section inside the app. As I mentioned before, when generating text-to-video prompts directly in ChatGPT, you can't process everything in one run. You have to split long scripts into smaller segments to get high-quality results. With Gary Studio, this part becomes fully automated. You can just set the number of prompt segments. For example, I'll set it to 30 here, and Gary Studio will automatically split your script, generate each prompt section, and produce the same high-quality results without any manual work. When I release the YouTube video feature, it will integrate everything: 11 Labs, Minimax Audio, Kling AI, and even After Effects rendering to produce videos exactly like the demos you've seen. Right now, Gary Studio version 1.3 is already very stable. You can generate complete visuals from your script to images effortlessly. But when version 2.0 launches next month, it's going to be a true game changer. There's no other AI tool like it right now. Gary Studio is designed to solve the math behind YouTube automation and to make it easy for all creators to start faceless YouTube channels that are simple to run, yet high quality and fully monetizable, without worrying about shadow bans or demonetization issues that many creators face today. Inside Gary Studio, you can create any type of video you want. You can choose portrait mode if you're making shorts. You can keep your characters consistent using GPT Image 1. You can reuse your ChatGPT thread ID for more stable results. You can even enable auto continuation to keep generating where you left off. For image or video style, just type in your desired prompt. In this demo, for example, I'll use a history video style. It works perfectly for this kind of content. Everything is designed to be simple. If you prefer generating faster results through the API, you can use the image generation API key. Just paste all your prompts into the text box. Choose your settings like the number of images per run, the output quality, and the image size. You can even browse reference images if you want to edit or create consistent characters. Starting from version 1.3, you can also enable advanced setup options for even more stability, and you can run multiple accounts at once. Everything you need is integrated into this single powerful system. So I hope to see you inside to speed up your process. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to share and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.